The crystal and spires of Zolforia gleamed under 3 suns as Kevin wiped sweat from his brow. 6 months ago, he'd been a simple mechanic from Earth, fixing broken-down shuttles at a backwater spaceport. Now, he stood in the royal palace of the Valorian Empire, surrounded by beings that could crush him with a thought. Human Kevin, the towering figure of Commander Zareth, rumbled. Her forearms crossed over her armored chest. The Queen requires her personal transport operational within the cycle. Can your species manage this, or shall I summon proper technicians? Kevin grinned up at the 9-foot warrior. Zareth's crimson scales caught the light, and her golden eyes held nothing but disdain for the soft, pink creature before her. Commander, when I'm done with that transport, it'll purr like a kitten. I do not know this kitten, Zareth growled. See that you do not fail. 3 hours later, Kevin emerged from beneath the royal transport, covered in synthetic oil and grinning. The engine hummed with a perfection that made even the Valorian engineers step back in surprise. Zareth approached, her massive frame casting Kevin in shadow. How did she began, then caught herself. It is adequate. Kevin laughed, wiping his hands. Commander, you're amazing at denying compliments. It's practically an art form. The words were meant as a joke, a friendly jab at the perpetually stern warrior. But something shifted in Zareth's expression. Her eyes widened, and a deep rumbling sound emerged from her chest. Laughter. Kevin realized. Actual laughter. You honor me greatly, my husband, Zareth said. Her voice suddenly warmed. Kevin froze. I'm sorry. What? Around them, the palace staff stopped. Whispers erupted in a dozen alien languages. Zareth's subordinates dropped to one knee. Queen Mia herself appeared on the balcony above, her ethereal form shimmering with curiosity. Commander, Kevin said carefully, I think there's been a misunderstanding. But Zareth had already removed one of her ceremonial bracers, offering it to him. You have declared your intentions before witnesses. I accept your courtship challenge. Kevin of Earth, courtship challenge. Kevin's voice cracked. I said you were amazing at not taking compliments. Exactly, Zareth said, her expression now tender. Among my people, to call a warrior amazing in the presence of the royal court is to declare them worthy of bonding. You have observed my strength, acknowledged my prowess, and found me suitable. Kevin looked up at Queen Mia, silently pleading for help. The Queen, however, was struggling to contain her own amusement. Mia had taken a liking to the human since he'd arrived. His irreverent humor and surprising competence had made him a favorite in her court. Commander Zareth, Mia called down, her voice like silver bells. Perhaps the human does not understand our customs. Ignorance is no excuse for honor. My queen, Zareth replied, though her tone was respectful. He has spoken the words. Now he must face the consequences. Kevin's mind raced. He'd read the cultural briefs, but clearly not thoroughly enough. The Valorians took oaths and declarations with deadly seriousness. To back out now would insult Zareth before her subordinates, potentially creating a diplomatic incident that Earth, still a minor player in galactic politics, could ill afford. Okay, Kevin said slowly. What exactly does this courtship challenge entail? Zareth's expression brightened. 7 trials of compatibility. Combat, strategy, endurance, wit, honor, sacrifice, and unity. Complete them all, and we shall be bonded. Fail even one, and you will have proven yourself unworthy. And if I'm unworthy, then I will kill you quickly, as is merciful for those who speak promises they cannot keep. Kevin swallowed hard. That seems ... extreme. That seems Valorian, Queen Mia interjected, descending from her balcony on platforms of solidified light. She approached Kevin, her form shifting from ethereal to physical as she drew near. However, I have a proposition. Both Kevin and Zareth turned to their queen. The human has served me well these past months, Mia continued. His ingenuity has improved our fleet efficiency by 37%. His humor has lightened the burdens of my court. I would be displeased to lose such a valuable asset to a misunderstanding. Zareth stiffened. My queen, I would never. Mia raised a slender hand. I know, Commander, which is why I propose an alternative. Kevin will face 3 trials instead of 7. If he succeeds, the bonding proceeds. If he fails, we shall declare it a cultural misunderstanding, and no blood will be shed. It was a compromise, Kevin realized, one that allowed Zareth to maintain her honor while giving him a chance to survive. His big mouth. I accept, Kevin said quickly. Zareth nodded slowly. As do I, my queen. The first trial came that very evening. Combat, but not physical combat, as Kevin had feared. Instead, Zareth challenged him to a battle of words, a debate before the royal court on the nature of strength. Kevin spoke of resilience, of humanity's ability to adapt and overcome despite being physically weak. He told stories of humans surviving impossible odds through ingenuity and cooperation. Zareth countered with tales of Valorian warriors, of individual might and glory in battle. But as the debate continued, something strange happened. Kevin found himself genuinely engaged, not just fighting for his life, but actually enjoying the exchange. Zareth, too, seemed to soften, her arguments becoming less about dominance and more about understanding. Queen Mia declared it a draw. Both had shown strength in their own way. The second trial was strategy. Zareth and Kevin were given command of opposing forces in a military simulation. Kevin, drawing on his experience with human tactics, employed guerrilla strategies and psychological warfare. Zareth used overwhelming force and discipline. The simulation ended in a stalemate, with both commanders achieving their objectives through vastly different means. Again, Mia called it a success. The final trial was unity. Zareth and Kevin were locked in a chamber, together for one full cycle with only basic provisions, and a complex puzzle that required for hands to solve, hands of vastly different sizes. For hours they struggled, Kevin's smaller, more dexterous fingers working in coordination with Zareth's powerful grip. They truly talked for the first time. Kevin learned of Zareth's isolation as a warrior, always respected but never truly known. Zareth learned of Kevin's loneliness among the stars, missing home but unable to return to a life that now seemed too small. When they finally solved the puzzle, it wasn't triumph they felt, it was understanding. Queen Mia welcomed them both as they emerged, her smile knowing. Well? She asked. Kevin and Zareth exchanged glances. We'll take it slow, Kevin said. Zareth's rumbling laugh filled the chamber. Agreed? My almost husband, and Queen Mia, watching her bodyguard and her mechanic walk side by side toward the setting suns, knew that sometimes the best bonds were forged not in fire, but in the unexpected moments between species, between worlds. Humanity's greatest strength, she reflected, wasn't their technology or their cunning, it was their ability to find connection in the most impossible places. The end.